nice. 1, 2, ready, go.
Sunflower shower from the west of the continent. Like ingredients of gourmet deliciousness. Love brought us life, made life so limitless. There's something about it when you got it and you in it. You forget it was a feeling violated and forbidden. Black love is the reason that we live in. Seed of our humanity, the root of the beginning. Union of the universe, nothing more appealing. Make it work, give it birth, gotta let it be your healing. Ain't never easy, but you gotta give it freely. Key to being free and the freedom we in need of. Don't ever let them say it ain't a thing. Yeah, love's universal. Black love is supreme. Black love. That sweet, that fly, that funky stuff. Black love. Yeah, that sweet, that fly, that funky stuff. Black love. That sweet, that fly, that funky stuff. Black, 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 black. Love, 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 love.
Let's take it back to the summertime. Girl, that's when the hell I met you. Lovely flesh in a summer dress. Just to get you out of sweat, I ain't give a damn, baby girl. To know your love, I would sacrifice love, I would pay the price. If I had to do it all over again for your love, I would do it twice. Say it back to the top, this love is familiar. You're the word from the start, your love is a healer. They all wanna be you, but they act like they don't feel you. Black girl, you light up my universe. This love out loud, with pure intention. I love who you are and the skin that you in. But this ain't just skin, it's the spirit within. I do not play game, baby, do not pretend about this black love.
Black love is healing us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, my brother? How you feeling?
Oh, man, I feel pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Excellent. Excellent. I hear you as well, man. Yo, how you doing tonight?
Feeling real good. You know what I'm saying? Just came back from a really dope event here in Brooklyn. You know, from the community, a lot of dope Black people showing Black love, trying to figure out how we can multiply that Black love in all kinds of ways. You know, financially, et cetera, et cetera.
Listen, super important. So that's amazing to hear. You look great as usual. You know what I'm saying? broadcasting live. Where are you? I mean, I feel like people know, but it's always important to say where you're broadcasting from.
Broadcasting live from Brooklyn, New York. You know what I'm saying? Right in my living room. You know? Yeah, how about you? You know what I'm saying? I know you just took a trip. You just took a flight the other day.
Yeah, amazing. Well, I'm back home with fam, touchdown in New Orleans.
Yep.
And yeah, today is my sister's birthday. I don't think she's tuning in, but if she should ever see
Hey.
this, happy birthday to her. I wanted to come home and yeah, just be with family. Like you said, black love, be in the midst of some warmth.
Yeah.
And that's I'm back home in New Orleans, but like we do about this time, around this time, we wanted to come together and just do a live stream dedicated to the broadcast and the dropping of a new song we got out in the world.
Yes, sir.
And the name of the song is called Black Love.
Black Love.
And that's like a really big title. It's like a really
it's huge. It's heavy.
It's heavy. It's a really, really big concept. And so yeah, tonight we're here to celebrate that. But I think for first time listeners, hopefully we got some long time listeners and viewers, but for the first time listeners and viewers, we're just going to get into really quickly who we are. And of course, my name is Asante. This is my brother Chen, and together with a Soul Science Lab. And, we're storytellers inspiring the future. We're storytellers with a very interesting and unique skill set, but together we're innovative Afro futuristic griots. And the story we're coming together to tell tonight. Although I feel like, much like our love for music and culture, Soul Science Lab is an expression of Black love.
Definitely.
There is no Soul Science Lab without an undying desire and just healthy notion of like what it means for Black people to love, and how that manifests in our culture. So our very endeavor is a manifestation of Black love.
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt. As Brother Mike, as we, saw him on the street, reminded us of, and saying that the fact that we've been doing this a decade at this point, is a reflection of Black love and an example of that. So it's a blessing just to be a part of it and to continue growing in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. We out here, as they say, and that's a blessing. And I think one of the consistent notions I feel like I always want to drive home and remind myself of is that in troubled times, when things become difficult, when you're being attacked, when it's oppression, Black spirituality, but Black love is the thing that can protect you. It can guard you. It can be an umbrella on a rainy day. It can be a airbag. When you're dealing with the impact of life. So right. So maybe you could talk a little bit about we said who we are, but what do we do? Because we do a lot of stuff tonight. We're dealing with Black love in this song, but we do a lot of things.
Yeah, we do. And to keep it, simple, as my brother said, we're storytellers, looking to inspire the next generation of creatives and other storytellers. And the way that we do that, of course, our core is music. Both of us are musicians, songwriters. My brother is a multi-instrumentalist, amazing, just all around creative. I'm a wordsmith and creative as well, but we use music and we use technology to tell our stories. That's like, that's our shtick. That's what we do. And we've been blessed to participate in a bunch of dope projects, man, and they continue to grow. We got commissioned to do Soundtrack 63, which if you've never heard of it, you should check it out. This project that we got commissioned to do with Carnegie Hall called Make a Joyful Noise, it's been super impactful and it's continuing to make waves. And then the Renaissance mixtape with the Dope Apollo Theater. So that's been dope. And I think the other really important piece, when we say we're storytellers trying to connect with the next generation, like, how do you pay it forward? And one of the ways that we've institutionalized paying it forward is with Soul Science University. You know what I'm saying? We got a suite of courses dedicated to helping other people tell their stories in the methods that we use, and codify it there. So check all of that out. Soul Science Lab, we do a lot of things, but, we're at our heart, we dealing with music, man. But, maybe you want to talk about how do we get here? How do we get here today? We're releasing the second single of this album. Make a Joyful Noise project. We know we broke it into 2 volumes, but run it down for the people. How do we arrive here to be releasing the second single on this project so they know, a little bit about the journey?
Yeah, absolutely. We're professional creatives. We're professional musicians. And so some people get up and, some people go work at the office. Some people answer phones. Some people cook burgers. Some people take out the trash. When we get up in the morning, we make songs. We make music. We dream, and it's our mission to capitulate the ideas we envision inside of our heart and mind into the world. You dig? And so it's always important to talk about love. I think love, man, love is one of the most overrated yet still understated concepts in human existence. And so I ain't really answering your question. I'm just on love. I'm getting there. But yeah, we thought it was important, Make a Joyful Noise. For those who don't know, is a commission we got through Carnegie Hall in 2019. The show and the idea went through a bunch of iterations. It was supposed to be a one-time show, but us being us, we was like, nah, we gotta use this as an opportunity to create something that we can leverage to the next opportunity. Something we could leverage to the next opportunity. And so we decided instead of just doing a show, we would come out with an album, a visual album. And Black Love was one of the songs, one of the concepts, one of the pillars, one of the chapters on the album. And so it actually came about. We got to give a shout out to our good brother, DJ Scan. Yeah, he's one of our frequent collaborators. And so generally the way we create is like, I'll usually come to the session with a bunch of ideas, musical sketches. I may make beats. I may, write out some chord progressions. And then we'll also tell Scan, yo, Scan, come with some samples. Come with a folder of samples. And then we'll kind of just sit down and go through everything and think about the kind of vibrations we want to create. We got to have something that's turned up. We got to have something that's slow. We got to have something that's this, that's that. And then the Black Love vibe is just, you know what I'm saying? It's on that R&B, old school flavor, family barbecue, family reunion, electric slide, break out, pop on the barbecue, cousin home from doing some time. Yeah, true. Auntie and uncle might be fighting a little bit, but they still in love. Right. And so, the song specifically doesn't get into that, but it's the type of song you would hear in that environment where in the midst of all that, people would kind of be like, man, let's go do the electric slide. You know what I'm saying? So that was the energy we wanted to try to create. And I just think, man, in general, with everything that Black people are dealing with in the world, we need tenderness. We need to try to exhibit some tenderness with each other. We need to exhibit more love and patience and empathy for each other, because we're not each other's enemies, And so the song is just created in that space, like, Black woman, you're not my enemy. You deserve flowers and wine and picnics and tenderness and as a Black man, we could sit down on a Sunday and kick it and enjoy each other and find peace. So that's kind of the imagery we're capitulating, and that's the energy of the song. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely not. That's all so important, man, even to reflect on that journey and reflect on how we got here and what moments actually inspired us to deliver this. And it just leads me to just think about why Black love is even important. Why is it important for us even to deal with this in a song and to dedicate something that's gonna last forever to it? Shoot, we both came from Black love. You know what I'm saying? We both came from Black love in its different spaces and still exist in it. Right. What I know about Black love is that Black love is vital to me. In my mind, it's life and death for Black people. Because when Black love is there, it's strong and it's nurtured, you see the fruit that it bears. You see
the abundance that it provides to its community and to those who are receiving it, living it, and sharing it. When it's disrupted, you see the impact of that as well. And too often it's been disrupted, whether that be, from historical factors like the transatlantic slave trade or slavery and, all the things that Black folk and colonization have been through across the planet, to intentionally disrupt our cultural functions, to today, social media, the social media echo chambers that have, Black people looking at each other, like you said, as enemies, what I'm saying? Black men and Black women looking at each other like, we can't be there for each other. We're not made for each other. We can't heal and build and grow. And so we decided to say, look, Black love is a beautiful thing if we embrace it. Even in its flaws, even in the difficulty and the challenges, if we're able to overcome those things and embrace each other, what I'm saying, for the greater good, like it's gonna heal us all. Like, because the Black love, whenever we put our love into anything, whether that's music, whether that's art, culture, whether that's politics, whenever we put our love into anything, we heal the world. That's just facts. You know what I'm saying? We've seen that over and over again. And so we need to put our love into each other. You know what I mean? Because we need healing. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, Nas, it's dope. It's so amazing to see this. And we did something dope recently in it wasn't just about us saying what we thought about Black love, right? It was really important for us to connect with people in the street to get other people's thoughts about, about this topic. Because y'all can hear from us all day. You know what I'm saying? We go in and we could talk forever, but it's important to hear other perspectives about this as well, man. And I'm glad we did that exercise, for sure. And I know we want to actually show some of those while we're here tonight, right?
Yep, absolutely. So the first interview we're going to show is from a brother really dear to us. We've known him kind of like ever since I moved to Brooklyn. You dig? He was one of those people in Brooklyn, just a staple, good brother. And he took to me because he's just a good guy and became like a big brother and just always had a good word for me, man. Always had a positive word, always very supportive, always inspiring. And he's definitely the kind of human who every time I experienced his presence, he exhibited Black love. So this is Brother Mike. And we asked him a simple question. What is Black love to you? So let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah.
Black love. That's sweet, that's fly, that's funky stuff. Black, 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 black. Love, 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 love.
Brother Mike, live and direct from Brooklyn. You know what it is. Y'all seen me before a few times, maybe once or twice. I'm an entrepreneur by day, Black man by night. You know what I mean? You know what it is.
What is Black love? What does that mean to you?
Black love to me means everything, bro. Like, it is, to me, it's the essence of everything. Black love would be the essence of all of those great feelings that you get when you look at your daughter or your son. You know what I'm saying? When they're born or something like that. Or when you look at your mate. You know what I mean? And you appreciate just the small things about it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Whether it be the things that strike you as pleasing or some of the things that even irk you and stuff like that. You know, and that, to me, that's kind of like what Black love is. It's not just the good, it's the bad as well. You know, it's the bad is the thing that tests to see where you at within your Black love. You know, and the good is the things that help you to appreciate your Black love.
That Black love can never get enough. There is no greater love. Black love is healing love.
Wow. Brother Mike, you know what I'm saying? That's, man, known that brother for almost 20 years, man. And he is Black love. Like, he's always a brother in the community figuring out how he can use whatever gifts he has to serve other people, to love and nurture other people. So appreciate just hearing from him, hearing that voice. And bro, it was really, it struck me, man. So many things that people said as we just interviewed, folks. I didn't know what to expect in getting into conversations with people on the street, but so many things people said just struck me to know that these aren't things that only we're thinking about. You know, these conversations people are having, and people are passionate about this in the same way that we are. And for those of you, you know, definitely the playlist is up on YouTube, right? We got a playlist. If it's not there, it's coming soon, of all these interviews that we did.
That's
So you can see just what people, you know, think about this very important topic that means so much to all of us.
Yeah, we're in a moment now where people will sit on TikTok or sit on social media for hours and just look at interviews. That's like that's a genre of immersion right now. You know, I see a lot of young people do it too. They'll just walk up and have questions for people, put up a phone. And I look at this stuff because I think I'm in love with humans. I just love looking at humans, and human behavior is fascinating to me. So, you know, this was our own way of being anthropologists. You know, like we're artists and we're archivists by way of our artistry, but part of what we're supposed to do as artists is kind of document the sentiment of the moment. And what better way to document the sentiment of the moment than to just ask people where they at, how they feel, because we're artists of the community, you know. So as you're saying, I didn't necessarily go into the streets with any expectations,
right,
and not necessarily feeling like there was a wrong answer, although there may be things. You talk to anybody, might be something you agree with, something you disagree with, or somebody gonna say something you never thought about. But I think by and large, I was really inspired, and it reminded me that although I don't always see the physical manifestation of progress, progress and evolution is happening because people are grappling with unlearning and relearning in their own hearts and minds on a daily, right next to us, right in front of us. So I loved it for that alone. And we heard some really amazing things. So with that being said, you know, we're going to hear another interview in a moment, but getting back to this piece of music, let's talk a little bit about your verse, man, and how the song came about. You know, of course, we know DJ Scan kind of came in with a sample, and then, you know, I did what I do in terms of just kind of reimagining that so we could play it live. And then, of course, we had the assistance of a phenomenal cast of musicians. Cinque Kemp on drums, Parker McAllister on bass, Warren Fields on piano.
Legends.
Dave, what's Dave's last name, man?
Oh man,
Rosenthal.
Yeah, Rosenthal.
Dave Rosenthal on guitar. Kofi Hunter on percussion. Karen Monet, Karen Monet,
right?
K Monet,
Ken Williams, yeah.
K Moneybags on vocals. Moses on vocals, and then Matt on vocals. So we had an esteemed cast of all stars in order to kind of execute this vision and hit a sound. And these are all people who are family, people we love. So you hear, hopefully, that energy and that vibration is translated in the music. And I remember when we recorded that song, it was actually in it was at the top of 2021. And people were still inside. The pandemic was still going on. A lot of people had been lost. A lot of isolation had taken place. So the very fact that we were able to get with the band of individuals who we had loved, had toured with, had traveled with, you know, pay for the session, get them a couple of dollars and record this music, again, was an expression of Black love. And these are individuals who not only represent, in my mind, the pinnacle of technical mastery with their instruments, but every one of them also are just like good, really great people. Really good character people. And I feel like that translate on a recording. But what are some of the things you remember from those sessions, and how were you musically inspired by what you heard? Man, you know, and ultimately that led to a Black love.
I mean, there was stages and phases, because, you know, Scan was a phase, like you mentioned. Your Reimagining was a phase that we took into a rehearsal studio, and I got a recording from the rehearsal studio session that we did, because we were in that session and we were able to kind of like loop a groove that made sense, and just play through it. I know I went back and I was just surfing through some of the recordings and I landed on that, and I was like, it hit me immediately. Just listening to it, I was like, okay, this is something. This is definitely something. It has a vibe, it has an energy. And the band had given it, you know, their own energy, their juju. And so I was like, all right, this is fire. And I sat with it for a minute, and then it just like a ton of bricks came through, man. And my verse came, and I listened to the melody. Like there's some chords that were in, you know, what was being played, and it was that and as soon as I heard it again, I was like, I know what this is saying. It's saying black love to me. It's saying black, the way that you hear it on the record. So I was like, this is where we're going. And then I was like, yo, what does that mean for me? And then I remember the first day I saw my now wife, Naana, and we reconnected after 10 years of seeing each other at school. And long story short, I reconnected with her on Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn. And we decided to meet there, walked up on each other, and she had on this fresh yellow summer dress. And I just remember seeing it, and I was like, oh, this woman has taken care of herself in the last 10 years. And she, you know, she looks great. She looks amazing. Skin is popping, you know what I'm saying? Body's in shape. And then she opened her mouth and started talking to me. And I was like, whoa, she was in a fresh yellow summer dress, silky black elegance, beauty and her body, match spirit and intelligence. I'm like, oh, she got the full thing going on right now. You know what I'm saying? And when I thought back to that day, those words just came to me. You know what I'm saying? It was easy to pull from that inspiration. And then, you know, like the second half of the verse, I really dedicate to the fact that, like, yo, for real, it's something about it when you got it and you in it, you forget it was a feeling violated and forbidden. Like this thing that I now get to enjoy with my wife, and at our wedding, we jumped the broom to signify all those ancestors who actually jumped the broom when their getting married was illegal. You know what I'm saying? Their marriages weren't sanctioned by the state. They weren't recognized. So they jumped the broom to acknowledge that, you know, among themselves, that union. And we did the same thing. And so, you know, just reflecting on all of that, man, these are like powerful moments, and having an opportunity to speak my truth in this space, you know what I mean, was a super blessing. And then once we got to take it to the studio at Strange Weather and really like manifest these ideas to the next level, I was like, oh, this is magic. And it's a moment that, you know, I'll never forget. Like, you know, the band came in and it was beautiful. But there's a moment I remember where it's me, you, Moses, Karen in the lab, and you were like, something's missing. You were like, yo, this is all dope. We did the hook, like something's missing. Or you like, yo, he's like, do you have a bridge? You asked me, like, you got a bridge? And I was like, nah, was I supposed to bring a bridge to the session? Because I don't got it. But I was like, all right. I was like, you know what? Just give me a minute. And just hearing them sing, hearing y'all work, because you still had them doing some things vocally, while I was just sitting there, the words came, you know, to that bridge, at least like part of the melody to it. And then I remember saying it to y'all. I was like, yo, what do y'all think about this? And as soon as I said it, you jumped in. Yo, we could take it here, right? And you added some sauce, and it was like, oh, man, okay. And then we put it all together and had them singing, and I'm like, it's a wrap. This is one of the most special pieces of, like, one of the most special lyrics I've ever heard. And the reason why I say that is because every time I hear it, it heals me. You know what I mean, if I'm ever in a place and I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? That's that bridge on this song. You know what I'm saying? I want that black love. Can't ever get enough. There's no greater love. Black love is healing love. And then you came in with that. When it's hopeless. I was like, yeah.
This love is still enough. Listen, there is no greater love. Yeah, I loved it too, man, because it felt like, you know, whenever they write the movie about our lives, whenever the movie comes out,
True.
It felt like one of those moments that would be in the studio scene in the movie.
Yeah, bro.
You know, that highlights the magic of Soul Science Lab, because it was like, here it was, you know, I was on my Quincy Jones, you know, working on the music, getting the vocal arrangement right with the engineer, and you know, you were kind of to the side, you know, on your Smokey Robinson,
no doubt,
shit, like trying to think of more lyrics. And you like, light bulb goes off, you tell me, and then I come and finish it, and then we tell it to the vocalist. You know, I'm sitting down at the piano, try like this, and they're like, well, what if we try it like this? And then when they do it, it's explosive, it's electrifying. So it just felt like a surreal, almost like moving moment. You heard me? Yeah, but like that was the energy that got put into the song. And yeah, man, I perfectly agree with you. It's the kind of song that, you know, the reception is interesting. And I just want to say to artists out there, creatives in general, inventors, when you invent something or create something, you can't get too caught up in reaction to it.
Right.
You have to create the things that nourish your spirit, nourish your soul, and that God tells you to do. And in proper time and in proper context, it will serve its purpose in the world. But this is absolutely one of them songs I knew that even if it's not received the way I feel about it, it's healing for me.
Yeah.
Every time I hear it. So anybody who's in need of a healing, when they play it, it'll be like a medicine for their soul. And really, that's the essence of what we try to get at over here at Soul Science.
That's right.
And so you just said a bunch of good stuff. I know later on, hopefully, we'll have a chance to bring Naana to the screen.
Oh, yeah.
But with that, I just want to bring up another interview we did. And I really love these interviews.
Yeah, bro.
There was a beautiful human sister named Shani Coleman. I hope I'm getting her name right. But we saw her on the street. I saw her because she had a hat on, a St. Aug hat, and I went to St. Aug. So she had my alma mater's hat on in Brooklyn, in Bed-Stuy. So immediately I was like, I'm going to go talk to this woman.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, her pops is from New Orleans, and he went to my alma mater. We both went to the same school, and she was gracious enough to grant us an interview. And she's a creative director, a fashionista, an entrepreneur. And she really blessed us with some words that made us think about where Black people are and just the nature of Black love. So let's check out her interview right quick.
Black love, that's sweet, that's fly, that's funky stuff. Black, 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 black. Love.
What's the state of Black love for Black people?
I think right now it's transitional. As Black people, we are overcoming a series of emotional heartaches, not just stemming from what's going on in the last 2 years, but generational tragedy, right? Like our parents and grandparents went through a lot of shit, and their relationships seemed perfect on the outside to us as their kids and grandkids and great-grandkids, but on the inside, when you have like real intimate conversations with them, it was some shit. So having to break those sort of patterns and understanding how to communicate, how to actually be outward with your emotions and love someone fully, not just for the fact of like, oh, this person is paying half the rent or this person is the father of my child, but like really loving someone. There's a lot that comes with that. There's a lot of understanding. There's a lot of give and take. And I think that that wasn't necessarily omnipresent 40, 50, 60, 100 years ago. We loved out of obligation because we had to survive. And we had to get a partner to survive. So now I think we're kind of in a space where, especially like my generation and younger, we really can actually like create love for what it was supposed to be. Like really be present for someone, really actually love someone and give someone ourselves versus just survival of the fittest.
Black love can never get enough. There is no greater love.
Black love is healing us.
Right. Every time. But she was, man, that interview just struck me. You know, you never know what you're gonna get when you ask people randomly on the street, but she was able to articulate such complexity in Black love and distill it into some very direct comments so quickly, and cogently. I definitely walked away from there thinking a lot and just like, wow, okay. Yeah, it is interesting to think about the fact that there were a lot of relationships that were relationships, not necessarily of convenience, but of survival. It's like we come together because we can't do this alone. Like it's too hard to do alone. And there's love there, you know what I'm saying? But it isn't, it could be seen or perceived as a different kind of love. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely a strong bonded love there. But to her comments of like, we have the opportunity because of the privilege we've been given by the work and the struggle of our ancestors to actually be vulnerable and let our guard down with each other, to actually embrace and love someone unconditionally, in some instances without, some of the extra baggage that comes along with it. So it's interesting to hear her speak, man.
Yeah, it made me a lot more appreciative of the moment we're in, because I think, especially online now, there is this notion being perpetuated that Black men and Black women can't get along.
Yeah.
There's also a notion, there's a notion perpetuated too, that Black men and Black men can't get along.
True.
Or that Black women and Black women can't get along. So I think the common denominator of what's being perpetuated is that Black people can't be in harmonious relationship to one another.
Yeah.
To move culture, to move their communities forward. And I think and first of all, I think it's important. It's always important to say it's 7 billion people on the planet.
Right.
And maybe 1 billion of those people are on social media. So the majority of people are not on social media. So the opinions and ideas perpetuated on social media don't necessarily represent reality.
Right.
It represents a privileged few who have access. And then you have to keep in mind the conversation, the tone of the conversation, and the opinions are being curated by an algorithm.
Yep.
And the algorithm is based on the bias in the architecture of the same people who architected a slave trade, the same people who architected a crack epidemic, the same people who architected, Hurricane Katrina, so on and so. So it's just important to like, oh yeah, like that is true. Like,
right.
And it's not saying the things that don't happen, some of the things we see are not real. I'm not saying that, but it's just who gains the benefit.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying. But what I was gonna say was, man, I left feeling reinvigorated and realizing we have an opportunity that our ancestors didn't have, although it seems like we're at a deficit.
Yep.
Right? We're in a position to intentionally choose one another in order to move forward. And I think with the benefit of doing healing work, with the benefit of hindsight. So when I think about that, I'm like, that's really powerful. Maybe we're not getting married as young. Maybe we're not having as many kids, but I feel like we're in a moment where it's going to be about quantity over quality. And the quality of the relationships will be, I feel like, on another level, have the potential to be on another level right now. So that's extremely exciting. And I don't even think we've said at this point, bro, that we're premiering a video. I think we just hopped straight into Black Love.
We did, talking about it. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, it's interesting. I don't know who's listening or who's paying attention because we're on the stream. Hopefully it's a couple of people out there, you heard me, but we're premiering a new video tonight based, on this song, and got to give a shout out to our brother Tremelo Wave Vision.
Wave Vision.
I don't know, Anastasia. I don't know if you can, flash his handles on a tick on the screen, but if not, Wave Vision, boom, he's ready to go. Anastasia, that's why you make the big bucks, sister.
No doubt. Shout out to Anastasia.
Yeah, but Wave Vision did our video. He's done a few videos for me. He's out of Brooklyn, and I love this guy, man. I love this guy because sometimes in our industry things can be really transactional, but when you find somebody who is, it's a business, but can kind of say, all right, I ain't gonna break the bank. I'm gonna really take your vision and nurse it to fruition with care.
Right.
You got to honor those kind of individuals, because that's how we are. So Wave Vision is one of those people, and he I feel like we always kind of co-direct our own visuals because we're very hands-on.
No doubt.
With what we want to see, but he took it a step further and just made it a movie.
Yeah.
BD3, brother, BD3.
Hey, BD3, thanks for the love, brethren. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Another one of our Brooklyn brethren, you know what I'm saying, who's an LMC creative director in his own right.
Right.
Killing it, man. But now this video, it's interesting. We've done videos that have been real complex. We've done videos in Ghana with cranes and all types of people and, and moving vehicles, all types of stuff.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? This one was like, let's really distill this to like its simplest form and just show reflections of Black love, at least in our estimation, in their essence, in their foundational form. And so, we did that, man, and just found a dope location, great weather, good companionship, and spoke our truth, over this music, for the people. And so I've been excited to share this for a while, man, just to show people what we've been cooking up.
Likewise. So with that, this is the grand premiere of Black Love. Take it away.
Love.
1, 2, ready, go.
Sunflower shower from the west of the continent. Like ingredients of gourmet deliciousness. Love brought us life, made life so limitless. There's something about it when you got it and you in it. You forget it was a feeling violated and forbidden. Black love is the reason that we live it. Seed of our humanity, the root of the beginning. Union of the universe, nothing more appealing. Make it work, give it birth, gotta let it be your healing. Ain't never easy, but you gotta give it freely. Key to being free and the freedom we in need of. Don't ever let them say it ain't a thing. Yeah, love's universal. Black love is supreme. Black love. That's sweet, that fly, that funky stuff. Black love. Yeah, that's sweet, that fly, that funky stuff. Black love. That's sweet, that fly, that funky stuff. Black, 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 black. Love.
Let's take it back to the summertime. Girl, that's when the hell I met you. Lovely flesh in a summer dress. Just to get you out of sweater. I ain't give a damn, baby girl. To know your love, I would sacrifice love, I would pay the price. If I had to do it all over again for your love, I would do it twice. Take it back to the top, this love is familiar. You're the word from the stop, your love is a healer. They all wanna be you, but they act like they don't feel you. Black girl, you light up my universe. Let's love out loud with pure intention. I love who you are and the skin that you in. But this ain't just skin, it's the spirit within. I do not play game, baby. Do not pretend about this black love. Black love, black love, black love.
That's sweet, that fly, that funky stuff.
Black love.
Black love is healing us.
Yo, we put it in the world, bro. We put it in the world officially.
Come on,
Oh,
BD.
Science Lab.
Nana Badu, what up, my sister? How are you?
I'm great. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Let me see, brother BD3 says y'all gathered all the beautiful black people up for this. I love it. In fact, you were supposed to be in the video, but it's all good. The next one, the next one. But with that being said, it absolutely feels great to to just put stuff into the world, to dream up something, to lay a groundwork strategy, to execute it, and then to project it into the world. And of course, it's so great to have the beautiful, lovely Nana Badu in the building, looking stylish as ever.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, this is the silent member of Soul Science Lab. She's on the board. She sent Chen and myself out in the streets. Yeah, I mean to perform, but she helps call the shots behind the doors. That's not just hyperbole. Yeah. That's like actually real. She's definitely one of our creative consultants and our stylist. So, and of course, this is Chen's lovely wife, and the song, his verse was inspired by her. I would even say the whole song, you know what I'm saying, has that sauce and that energy in it. So with that being said, I always love talking to y'all because I always tell y'all this, but y'all are one of the living examples that I actually know of Black people in a healthy space with each other that I can see up close and personal relatively. So
no doubt.
Huge.
Yes. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick, who else was in the video? You know what I'm saying? Because we had some dope appearances by some amazing guest stars, co-stars. We know, I mean, Naana was in there, but who else was in there?
Oh, that's true. Oh, got to give a shout out to Koku Ganza.
Woo!
Phenomenal. I don't have her handles, but shit, I'll just tell y'all what the hell. I'm looking at it right now. It's Koku Ganza Music. Koku Ganza Music. And Koku is like first of all, she's just beautiful. She's just bad, but she's an amazing Tanzanian musician who has been living in New York for a while, and met her, just coming up through the ranks in New York. So she's in the video, and I mean, is there anybody else?
I think that's other than Moses and K Monet, you know what I'm saying, who also made their debuts, and shout out to them. They've been running with us for a long time. We've watched each other grow, going into amazing, phenomenal artists. We give a shout out to Wit and Rye, who were the original tree or the roots that spawned all this amazing fruit of just vocal and creative energy. And K Monet, it goes without saying, like watching her star rise, all the work she's doing with John Legend, just other artists, she's killing the game. So just shout out to these amazing artists who helped us make this happen.
Absolutely. We've already shouted out the band, but you heard their flavor all in there. And BD says Naana and Chen's chemistry coming off the screen is amazing. So y'all might have a future in like an acting or something.
Or hey, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, conversations have been had.
No doubt. You know what I'm saying? No doubt.
That's amazing. Coming soon. So I mean, we only got a few minutes left. And I absolutely want to get into a little conversation. But starting off, Chen, you kind of talked about how you all met, which is important. But I just want to, since we don't have much time, I just want to ask some big picture questions.
Do it.
Go for it.
And one of the things that comes to mind for me is kind of going back to the sister Shani Coleman, some of the things she said. And what I began to think about, especially with you two, are just Black people who choose to love each other. There is this notion that we have a choice. I mean, we always have a choice in life, right? You can stay, you can go, you can yes or no. You know, cut off your light or glow. Like you always have a choice, but some people feel like there is no choice. So in a world where anything feels possible right now, because right now anything is possible, and we're not locked into traditional notions of anything.
Right.
The way, right in the past. So, and love, I don't even think just black love. I think love is not seen as a necessity of survival. It's like maybe I'll get it, but it's not it's not a necessity. Why was companionship or partnership on the level that you all exhibit? Why was that important to you both?
That's a great question.
You want to jump? I know I've been talking.
Yeah, I mean, I think off top, I think that a lot of people who might struggle or be in a place and space where they look at love and think it's optional or secondary or don't give it credence or importance, you know, I would ask first, how in tune are you with loving yourself? I think, you know, everything starts with you. It starts with God, but God gave you love because God loves you. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to have a sense and a connection to yourself and what it is that you love about yourself. You know, what love looks like in the relationships that you do currently have, because it's there, you know. And I think whether it looks traditional, untraditional, unconventional, or however way you want to phrase it, I think it's just really important to look at the existing relationships that you have around you. And it's not optional. It is required for you to have a community of people who love you. You can't be and exist in this world in a healthy way if you do not. So if you don't have some love for yourself and you can't point to individuals around you who you can call on, who you feel care about you deeply, like in their heart of hearts, care about your well-being, that's problematic.
Yeah.
It really is. I think that's the space that you got to really start to assess and look around you, people, what you're doing with your day, your time, your mind, your spirit, and make some shifts. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I agree 1,000%. I mean, you know, there's this notion too, and it's been brewing for so long, that we can do this thing called life on our own, or we have to do this thing on our life and do this thing called life independently. Without the help of other people. I got this. I'm independent. I got to make my way, you know, become a made individual. And then, you know, I'll be able to maybe share that with other people or not. And that's false. That's a fallacy. Like at no time in the history of humanity have people been able to do anything, let alone anything great alone. You know, it takes a cast of characters, and it really takes a community. And so, you know, even breaking it down to the two of us, you know, you asked why was it important to us? I think I realized early on, and I got to give a shout out to the examples I was able to see, you know, and the examples I know, you know, Naana was able to see just in our own circumference, you know, of very healthy relationships, also ones that weren't so healthy, but being able to see Black people loving each other. You know, one thing that I knew and recognized was that, like, if I really want to meet my highest potential, I can't do that on my own. Like, I can't do that by myself. And whether that's a community, as Naana was saying, or I know for me personally, I appreciate being in a relationship with someone that I can be vulnerable with, who does love me unconditionally, and who also like pushes and challenges me to grow and to be greater, and introduces me to things maybe I wouldn't, you know, pursue myself. And allows me to explore emotions and feelings of myself that I might not explore on my own, you know. And so it's like having that kind of partner that's there. It doesn't always feel good. It doesn't always go down easy, you know what I'm saying? Even with a spoonful of sugar, like sometimes, you know, sometimes it's life, and sometimes, you know, we're not on the same page, and not at odds, but we may not see things eye to eye, but we always grow from those experiences. And it's important to you know, if you're living this life and you want to live it fully, like, yo, challenge, struggle, those things are a part of it. And being able to, I know, deal with challenges with someone. Like, I've lived in New York. I've lived in New York almost 20 years, man. And you know the deal. Like, yo, this is a harsh environment. This is like
Listen.
People don't really understand how harsh this environment can be, no matter who you are. And I think about the times I did this alone. Like, going through things, and I didn't have anybody to talk to or tell. You know, I didn't think I could share with somebody. And it's like, I wonder how I even made it and survived that. But I know now, when times get difficult, I have someone I can lean on. If I'm down and she's up, she's pulling me up, and vice versa. You know, if I need to hear, you know, an affirmation that she was listening to earlier, like, yo, you need to peep this. Like, having this kind of companionship,
accountability. The accountability.
Yeah, it's real.
That's super dope. I mean, there are a couple of questions that I had that you all just actually answered. You know, of course, one of those had to do with examples, which I think is really important. You all had examples in your midst that inspired you to want to embark on a partnership of that magnitude. And of course, there were things you saw that inspired you that were like, yo, that's dope. But I'm certain as well there were things you saw that were toxic. And that you're like, oh, hell no. Right? Like, nah, we're not doing that. But what I love about the both about you two, and again, just having some insight, the toxic things or the traumatic things, that still was not a reason for you to answer the calling.
No doubt.
Yeah. Right. I mean, like, love is a beautiful thing. Black love is a beautiful, incredible experience. And like, period. Point blank.
Right. That's the statement. That's the statement.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just reality. You know, life is life. There are ups and downs. Nothing is extremely great and extremely good all of the time. You know, so if that's something that you're seeking, that's just not the way that the world works. There is yin and yang, and there's balance for a reason. So I think it's just like, you know, I like Chen said, you know, I'm blessed. My parents have been together for some 40 some plus years at this point. They had their ups and downs in their relationships, like all relationships do. But at the end of the day, I saw the way that they cared for one another, the way that they brought children into this world, the way that they immigrated from Ghana, West Africa, to the United States, built a family here, retired and went back home. I saw the extension of, like, my aunts and uncles and cousins and people in these relationships. And I saw how when family came together, it's love. Like, that's the first thing. It's just like people who just genuinely care about you, regardless of what is happening. At the end of the day, they want you to be good. They want you to be healthy. They want you to prosper. And so I'm like, listen, get your love. Like there, I don't know what it is, you know, listen. I'm of a certain age. I just turned 40 this year. And, you know, I don't know what the young folks be doing sometimes.
Right.
But, you know, I do hear things. You know, you share some things, you know, Asante and, you know, other girlfriends, etc., just about the journey of singlehood and what it's like and dating and all these things. And I mean, listen. Oh, I get a head shaking.
It's ghetto. It's ghetto over here. It's the streets are ghetto. The streets are ghetto, Naana. But I think something you said is very important. So, like, even while I'm saying that, I think this generation of individuals has we have a different mantle, right? Because every generation has a mission, something they kind of want to check off the list, so that the generation coming after us has something else to focus on. Hopefully we shouldn't be focusing on the same assignment for 100 years, 200 years. Like, who does that?
Right.
Sometimes us.
Yeah.
but in some regards we get better. And I think one thing about this generation is there are a lot more people who are in therapy, who understand healing, who understand toxic behavior. So much to the point this language is like cliche. It's a norm.
Right.
But I think there's something very real about it, and people have elevated standards. And I would like to think that some of us are more willing to do the internal work as opposed to just going into relationships that are toxic and unhealthy, but saying, well, this is what my mom and my daddy did, so I'm gonna just do it. So I used to say to myself, well, damn, will we ever get together? Because the standards are just, but I think it's really an opportunity for us, hopefully, for us to approach, however people imagine relationships, to approach with a willingness to be more accountable and with more tools. Yeah. And something you said, Naana, reminded me of this Bell Hooks quote. And it basically says, do not expect to receive the love from someone else you do not give to yourself.
There it is.
The light of love is always in us. No matter how cold the flame, it is always present, waiting for the spark to ignite, waiting for the heart to awaken. And I think that should be the mantra. That should be the constant meditation we come back to. Like, love is not the question. Right. Love is. It's like God. It's the ancestors. It's always there. Right. It's waiting on your ass.
Right.
You know
Right.
Right.
And I'll also say this. As we get ready to close, there's this idea that we have a choice. I never feel like God is a choice. I never feel like self-love is a choice. I never feel like love for my people is a choice. I feel like we always have to continue, like no matter what it look like, we have to, just never give up. Like always keep the door open for each other and for love. So I don't know. On that note, I had a few other questions, but is there anything you all want to close out with? I mean, like I said, I had other questions. Matter of fact, fuck it. People are here. If they want to sit, they can sit. If they want to leave, they can leave. I'm gonna ask the next question. Cool. As we get ready to close, and Naana, you kind of touched on this, but it's so many people who are not in healthy spaces with themselves, and they're like, they want to be gurus. Because social media makes it easy. Anybody can just cut on the phone and right. And sometimes I say to myself, man, the people who should be the gurus, the people who are in the relationships, you don't hear from them as much because they're busy doing the work. Right. So what does it take to make this thing work? What values, what are some traits, what are some things that you have learned, even in a relationship, but that can apply to other relationships, or just apply to how to move in the world in general, to live healthier?
Man. Well, I'll definitely say something that you had said earlier, Asante, especially when you were quoting Bell Hooks. But I was just saying that this notion, basically, love can't be conditional. Right? You can't, it's not in your best interest to enter into relationships with a notion that I'm going to love this individual based on certain traits, actions, outcomes, right? Like that's when we start to set these expectations on people and ourselves sometimes too. And shit get unrealistic. Problems arise, conflict starts, and it's because I think just the intentionality in which you entered the relationship was not from a space of just allowing love to morph and change and look different in certain ways. The love that Chen and I had at the beginning of our relationship when you were dating, listen, that's all a lot of lust. There's a lot of physical attraction. There's a lot of like, I'm just getting to know you.
Like that. Oh man.
I mean, I'm just being honest. When you meet somebody, there's a natural, like, you see them and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
fresh yellow summer dress.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Right.
So
I mean,
there's that element, but then of course you tap in, and the more you get to know somebody, there's a spirit and there's an energy. And I think it's really important for the love to shift to friendship. Right? That friendship element is so important. Like, this is my dog. Like,
Right.
oh, like, you know, like I enjoy his company genuinely, you know? So it's not a chore, it's not a burden. Oh, I gotta hang out with him. You still here? Like, you know.
Some people be like that though. Damn.
I'm like, oh, that person's not your friend. Like, you don't have that type of relationship where you're just like, yo, let's kick it. Let's chill. So I think, you know, as I just think about love and, you know, to your question about some of those values, I think it's just important to, I think, one, just open yourself up to the fact that love will change and morph. I think it's really important to build friendship and genuine connection with that person, on such a really deep level. And then I think it's just important to, like, I don't know. I think back to even when I was single and some of the conversations that I've had with girlfriends, and I think that sometimes people think that people are going to change, or they're going to be able to change someone, because they have a notion and a thought of what it's supposed to look like and how they're supposed to feel. And, you know, sometimes we say, you know, like, oh, it's not supposed to be this hard. I'm like, sometimes there are moments where it is hard. But that doesn't have to be the root and the longevity of the relationship. But there are moments when, like, yes, it is hard, and you have to decide, is this person someone that I want to be with and spend time with, and who I feel like adds to the life that I already have, right? And it's not about completion, right? Like, you gotta love yourself, like, through, like really and truly. Like, at the same time, you want to have great time with your partner, you got to be able to be by yourself and love that time too, right? And so I think it's just this space of a mix of that value of self-love, and then just really being able to understand that it's going to require work as you move through, because you're one person. He, she, they is another person. We're trying to bring both of these wholes together to create a new thing. You're not trying to meld it together and say, well, hey, listen, if I bring my 60, you bring your 40, and like, no, they bring in their whole 100%. You bring your whole 100%. Y'all about to create a new 100%, right?
Wow.
So it's just the way that people sometimes look at love. When I hear conversations and I go, man, myself included, like I said, you just have to understand that it will shift, it will change, it will morph. And is this somebody who you want to do that with?
No doubt. You know what I'm saying? This is not my enemy. You know, allow space for love, allows space for growth. Because nobody stays the same. People evolve and change. So you have to allow that space, be open and be vulnerable. You know, be willing to peace, wave vision. You know what I'm saying? Definitely appreciate you, bro. Be willing to just be vulnerable, be open, be honest, and about everything. You know what I'm saying? Even about your credit score, even about what's in your bank account, even about the debt you got. Like, for real. Like, you gotta just pull all that down and be like, yo, this is where I'm at. Like, because if this is real, it's like, you know, and I think that's a critical thing too, just in the conversation, is like, don't be judging people by their bank account and credit scores. Don't be judging.
Tell that to Twitter.
On Twitter. Listen. Like for real, like we got to get away from, like, like assessing people's value as human beings, assessing people's value as potential partners just by their finances and financial, connection. I think that's vital. And not to say that it's not important, you know what I'm saying? But I am not that. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it's like if we come together, like right now, me and Naana are sitting in a house that we purchased that we wouldn't have been able to buy without being together.
Right.
Both of us brought something.
And so really, really quick, it's so funny when I see these conversations of people who are not in relationships talking about what the other needs to do. And I'm like, well, I know some real motherfuckers who are together and I'm seeing what they're able to do. So your notions are fantastical and fantasy based, and they're not real. Because, like I said, I know a few people. Like, it's like I know you all. I know Armando and Jazz. I know John and Corinne. It's like I know my homeboy Lawless and his lady, and it's interesting what I see. And it's not like I'm intimately involved in a relationship, but like you all are open to your friends. So I just see some stuff on the periphery and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And it's dope. And it's different than the narrative. And so everything you all have discussed, and I was just getting ready to say, Chen, man, like, I think we all have so much to say on this subject because talking to you and Naana was important because shit, you part of the brand, shit, you 50% of the brand. You my brother, and I love Naana dearly. She's a really close friend and sister to me. So it's like, yeah, let's talk about this. But the fact of the matter is, like, this is an inside job, this love thing. Like before you can find that in another person, you really have to do the internal work. And the fact of the matter is, so many of us come from traumatic and toxic environments, and then you conflate that with shit. Just to be transparent and open, a lot of the notions I even got about intimacy came from corporate sponsored rap music and pornography. So you can imagine going into your adulthood, that is a recipe for
destruction,
more dysfunction. Right? Combined with the fact that things weren't necessarily so harmonious in my household, but I can always say I music, art, God, community always kept a fire inside of me, ignited of, we at least got to try it out. We at least got to keep striving. We at least got to keep it, keep it alive. And so, just to that point, bro, about we're not other people. We're Black people. We come from a very specific cultural context, so we can't judge the way we relate to each other based on other people's metrics of making the love and the relationship transactional. Which is, to me, what I hear a lot of. So I don't know. With that being said, I don't want to make it too long-winded. I love you all. I appreciate it. Any closing words before we get out of here?
Yo, that Black Love video. You know what I'm saying? Run the numbers up on that. Run the numbers up on that Black Love song. Stream it everywhere. Share it with people. It came out of love. It's real. It's genuine. It's not some gimmicky, joint. Like, we out here. We live in this life. Like, we're creating art that reflects who we are. So, yo, let's do that. We appreciate you, bro. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Likewise. Yeah, likewise. Let's keep going. Like the brother said, yo, Black Love is out. While I was on the stream, I just posted it to our YouTube.
Yeah.
So the video is out now. Spread the word far and wide. Go listen to it on your DSPs. Put it on your playlist. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Spotify, everything.
All of it.
Black Love. He said, share it with your mama.
That's right. That's right. Wait, bitch. Share it with your mama. Your mama gonna like this.
Share it with your mama. And Anastasia, thank you. She's running the stream, doing background support. Thank you, Brandon. Background support. And We're gonna keep this thing moving and grooving. And thank everybody for tuning in. Peace and love.
Yo, peace and love, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.